Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Welcome to Business 360 today, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakoran. I am a Didion Martin, and here on Business 360 we talk about everything in the world of business. Today we'll be starting with the EU agreement on partial ban of Russian oil imports. The European Union leaders have agreed to pursue a partial ban on Russian oil, paving the way for a sixth package of sanctions to punish Russia and its president, Vladimir Putin, for the invasion of Ukraine. The sanctions would forbid the purchase of crude oil and petroleum products from Russia delivered to member states by sea, but include a temporary exemption for pipeline crude, according to the European Union, the European Council President Charles Michel late on Monday during a meeting in Brussels. He said this immediately covers more than two-thirds of the oil exports from Russia, cutting a huge source of financing for its war machine. Michel said in a tweet, maximum pressure on Russia to end the war. Officials and diplomats still have to agree on the technical details, and the sanctions must be formally adopted by all 27 nations. Hungary, which will continue to receive Russian oil via pipeline, had been blocking an embargo for the past month as it sought assurance that its energy supplies would not be disrupted. Our next story is about Berkeley consortium, which completes 4.25 billion pounds takeover of Chelsea, ending a 19-year Roman Abramovich reign. The Blues have changed hands after a glorious 19 years with a predominantly US-based consortium now at the helm. The total investment will cost 4.25 billion pounds, with 2.5 billion pounds ending up being the sale price of the club, while there is an agreement in place that 1.75 billion pounds will be invested over 10 years. The purchase agreement was signed a fortnight ago and has been waved through by the Premier League owners and directors test. While the UK government, the Portuguese authorities and European Union have all agreed the financial transaction. Ultimately, the club received 12 credible bids, resulting in 4 and then 3 final bidders. The Third Burley and Clear Lake Capital Consortium was chosen as the preferred bidder. Now let's look at businesses in Africa. We start with the tension in DR Congo and Rwanda right now, as lately it's affecting business like the Rwandan Air. The Democratic Republic of Congo right now has accused Rwanda of supporting the resurgence of the M23 rebels, a development that has renewed long-standing tensions between the neighboring countries. Unfortunately, the impasse is not only a foreign policy one, as it is already affecting businesses. Over the weekend, Russian Air had to cancel planned flights to the DR Congo after Kinshasa announced that the carrier was banned from its airspace. The national airline announced via Twitter saying Rwandan Air has declined to cancel all flights to Kinshasa, Limbosha, and Goma with immediate effect. They said they are sorry for the inconvenience and disruption this may cause to customers, as they will waive change of reservation fees and offer reissues or refunds for those affected. Well, when we talk about inflation, we also talk about interest rates. So let's look at the unexpected hike interest rate of 7.5% in Kenya. The Central Bank of Kenya raised its benchmark interest rate to 7.5% at its May 2022 meeting, surprising markets that expected it to remain at the steady 7%. It marks the first rate hike since July of 2015. In order for further anchor inflation expectations amid strong price pressures due to an increase in commodity prices exacerbated by the conflict in Ukraine. The annual inflation rate in Kenya accelerated to a 7-month high of 6.47% in April 2022 from 5.56% in the previous month, reflecting higher prices of basic food and fuel, but still within the bank's 2.5% to 7.5% target band. Meanwhile, policymakers noted the Kenyan economy rebounded strongly in 2021 following the easing of the COVID-19 restrictions, with real GDP growing by 7.5% from a contraction of 0.3% in 2020. The economy is expected to remain resilient in 2022, with continued strong performance of the services and manufacturing sector, despite the downside risk of global growth. Well, at this point, let's look at 6 countries with the highest unemployment rates in Africa. Unemployment is a menace across Africa. It is a global concern. A common feature of unemployment in Africa is that it affects mainly the youthful population. While good jobs are guaranteed in many advanced countries, same cannot be said for many African countries due to the very high unemployment rates prevalent across the continent. So let's talk about unemployment. What is unemployment? According to Investopedia, unemployment is a situation where a person who is actively searching for employment is unable to find work. Unemployment rate is a key measure for the health of any economy. Well, according to reports, here are the 6 African countries with the highest unemployment rates right now. At number 1 is South Africa. According to statistics, South Africa's unemployment rate was 35.30% as of December 2021. Next is Nigeria. Latest reports by Nigeria's National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, says the unemployment rate right now in Nigeria is 33.3%. At number 3 is Lesotho. Figures from the International Labour Organization has Lesotho's unemployment rate at 24.60%. Gabon is at number 4. The unemployment rate in Gabon increased to 22.30% in December 2021. Somalia is at number 5. According to the World Bank, Somalia's unemployment rate is currently at 19.8%. And lastly, we have Tunisia. According to Tunisia's National Institute of Statistics, unemployment rate stood at 16.10% as of March 2022. At this point, we'll go for a breather. When we return, we will look at the business outlook in Nigeria, the commodity and the stock markets. Stay with us.
Elections in Nigeria.
Thanks for being there. We're starting our business outlook on Nigeria with this report about central bank reserves that has hit a 7-month low. Figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria have revealed that the country's external reserves have hit a 7-month low after falling to $38.57 billion as of May 25, 2022. Findings have shown that the continuous decline in the country's external reserves used to defend the naira's value is making the banks tighten access to foreign exchange to travelers and other legitimate users as scarcity bites harder. Due to the scarcity, many banks are extending waiting period to access forex for foreign trips, thereby denying travelers with urgent trips access to apply for personal travel allowances or the business travel allowance request, as well as reducing the amount a customer can spend on the cards in dollar terms. Ecobank Nigeria explained its current stand on retail foreign exchange transaction for international school fees, accommodation, and upkeep payments, as well as the PTA and the BTA requests. The head consumer banking Korede Ademola Adeniyi Ecobank says, due to current market trends, the bank requires a 30-day window to complete requests for school fees, accommodation, and upkeep. Access Bank also explained its stand in the mail to its customers on forex needs for international school fees, upkeep payments, and BTA and PTA requests, saying all requests are required to ensure that they meet regular requirements. In addition, due to limited forex availability provided by the Central Bank of Nigeria, they require a 30-day period to fulfill requirements for school fees, upkeep, and rent payments. First Bank had earlier notified its customers of cuts in dollar assets in a mail titled Reduction of Naira Card Cross-Border Rates to $20. The central bank governor Godwin Emefiele, while giving reasons on dwindling reserves at the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting, noted that the gross external reserves declined moderately from $39.28 billion at the end of March 2022. According to him, external and internal volatility are having effects on the forex. Well, here in Akwa Ibom State, the Akwa Ibom State government has loaded the World Bank, the French agency, over project takeover. The Akwa Ibom State government has commended the efforts and vision of the World Bank and the French Development Agency in conceiving the Rural Access and agricultural marketing projects and its eventual takeover in the state. The State Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Dr. Ofiong Ofor, made the recommendation while speaking at the statewide stakeholders consultation and sensitization workshop, which held at Ibom Hall, Uyo, with the theme Rural Accessibility and Agro-Logistics, a panacea for socio-economic growth in Akwa Ibom State. She said the program would crystallize into the construction of over 500-kilometer rural roads, bridges, drainages, and boost rural development efforts of the state government. She added that the multiplier effect of the RAAMP would promote the infrastructural profile of our dear state, Akwa Ibom State, reinforce our industrialization potentials, grow agriculture for subsistence to business practices, as well as create jobs and wealth for the youths. While commending the State Projects Monitoring Committee and the State's Project Implementation Unit for their contributions, the Commissioner lauded the initiative of the state government in the payment of its counterpart contribution of 832 million naira in 2018 for the takeoff of the program. Well, let's look at the commodity markets. We're starting with the Brent crude, which has risen to $120. Brent crude, which is the benchmark index of Nigerian crude futures, rose to around $120 per barrel yesterday, approaching a 14-year high of almost $135 hit in March as Beijing and Shanghai started to ease COVID restrictions during the weekend, while the EU discussed a plan to ban imports of Russian crude. With a partial agreement on the embargo on Russian oil, EU governments will continue working on a ban of seaborne deliveries of Russian oil in an EU summit today. Brent crude is heading for a sixth straight month of gains, the longest winning streak in more than a decade, amid tight supplies due to Russian invasion of Ukraine at a time where economies were raising consumption following the relaxation of health restrictions. The summer driving season kicked off at the weekend with retail gasoline prices at a record in the US. Elsewhere, OPEC Plus is widely expected to stick to last year's oil production deal as at its June 2nd meeting and raise July output targets by 432,000 barrels per day. Now, looking at the stock market at the close of trading day on Monday, we would be going to the Nigerian stock market. The Nigerian stock market, as at the close of Monday's trading session, was fell slightly after a 6-day contraction. The Nigerian stock market fell by 0.6% on Monday, which is their first in 6 days, as traders zeroed in on equities that had heaped up gains in the recent times to take profits. Sell-offs in the shares of MTN Nigeria and oil palm processor Presco drove the pullback, with the entire market turnover diminishing by 46%, even though transaction volume was slightly up by 6%. Market breadth, which measures investors' sentiment to trade, was positive as 22 advanced in contrast to 21 losers. The all share index fell by 313 points to 52,772.4, while market capitalization closed lower at 29 trillion naira. From the start of the year till now, the index is up 25.9%. Trans-Nationwide Express led gainers, appreciating by 9.86% to close at 0 naira 78 kobo. USC Nigeria rose to 11 naira 50 kobo, notching up 9.52%. In the process, Jay's Bank, Livestock, Royal Exchange completed the top 5 gainers. Presco led the losers, declining by 10%, as well as FTN Coca, May and Baker shares also fell, topping the losers chart. Altogether, 227.6 million shares, estimated at 3 billion naira, were traded in 4,586 deals. At this point, we come to the end of Business 360 today. Join us again tomorrow for more information in the business world. I remain Edidion Martin. Thanks for watching.